Innovations Fair 2022, the Visual Impairment Program Experience, an amazing opportunity, presented by Lana Mason, Personnel Prep Program.
All right. It is such a pleasure to be here today to get the opportunity to talk about the unique partnership between New Mexico State University and the School for the Blind. So our goal is that we strive to prepare highly qualified teachers of students with visual impairments, certified orientation and mobility specialists, and developmental vision specialists to use, evaluate, and develop best practices for teaching the expanded core curriculum to diverse populations of learners with visual impairments, including those who have additional exceptionalities, who are being educated in a variety of settings across the continuum of services throughout the state of New Mexico and beyond, which is not an easy task. By doing so, we help ensure that learners with visual impairments develop the specialized skills needed to pursue the post-secondary opportunities that will allow each to achieve their desired quality of life. So that is ultimately what we are trying to do. And so in a nutshell, we are basically touching the lives of all of the learners with visual impairments throughout the entire state of New Mexico and surrounding territories by, training high quality professionals to work with them. So our program was actually founded in 2002. So we're still a baby program. And we are only one of, we're the only program in the state of New Mexico to train professionals to work with children with visual impairments. We are also really rare in terms of being one of only 50 such programs throughout the entire world. We are further unique in terms of being the only program that I know about, especially in the United States, because I'm most familiar with those programs, that is funded entirely by the School for the Blind. NMSBBI also provides our students with a tuition scholarship, which is really nice because that helps us ensure that we have pretty consistent enrollment in our program. Unfortunately, there used to be a lot more programs that did what we do, but over the years they've lost funding and they have fallen by the wayside. So there are fewer and fewer programs within the United States even that do this. So that tuition assistance is very valuable. NMSBBI also provides our program with mentors for our interns, and unlike most personnel prep programs where internship is basically saved until the very end of the program, our students do internship over the course of the entire program so that they are getting their hands in the trenches while they're also learning all of the technical, often what comes across as boring, theoretical concepts. So they actually get to put theory into practice while they're going through the program. And our program is set up like an alternative licensure program where, at least for the TSVIs, they're working in the capacity of a vision service provider while they're being trained. But unlike a lot of the alternative licensure programs where they're reliant on districts to provide the mentorship, which often ends up being very inconsistent and is highly dependent on the time that their mentors have to give them. We have the luxury of using the NMSBBI outreach consultants to provide this mentorship. And so that allows for our students to have consistent experiences throughout internship that help them meet the national standards that they're required to meet, rather than having a philosophy of they just need to learn to do whatever their employer wants them to do in order to meet the demands of their job. We're also very fortunate in that NMSBVI also provides us with a lot of our guest lecturers that are used in our classes, so like, for example, Ron Lader comes in all the time and talks about the O&M inventory. We're fortunate enough to even get Scott Crawford to come in and talk about wheelchair mobility, but Fatima and Cheryl come in and teach our students how to use assistive tech. Mary Vaughn comes in and talks about the IRC as well as Brain Gym. So all of that kind of stuff enhances our program for our students. And then NMSBVI also provides the training sites for our monthly on-site classes. And so during our on-sites, we do a lot of cool, fun, hands-on activities. And so I pulled some pictures of some of the fun things that students get to do in the program. So our COMSs, they usually get experiences traveling with a dog guide. They also get experiences traveling in a wheelchair without vision. All of our students get the experience of dissecting a cow's eye, of preparing a meal under blindfold. Our TSVIs get a lot of hands-on experience with Braille, and beyond just the drill of writing and transcribing Braille, they also get to do a lot of fun activities. So our very own Marlisa Jacobs is pictured here, actually drawing a design based on instructions she's provided on a Braille writer. And so she's actually making, she doesn't know it at the time that she's making it because it's a surprise, but she's making a picture of an American flag. And then we've got more pictures on the next slide. We do relay races to practice a lot of the protective techniques that all the students have to learn. And so we've got a student doing one of those relay races wearing a sombrero, having some fun. We do physical recreation as well. So we have students practice climbing the rock wall under simulation. They also get the opportunity to play goal ball, to do guide running. We've even in the past had them doing cheerleading while wearing simulators. We also, our students get hands-on, practice with the abacus and have to demonstrate competencies there. I talked about the meal prep that they had to do. So we've got to pick a student, actually serving themselves at the meal. They also go out and eat in a restaurant, but prior to cooking that meal, they also have to go grocery shopping. So our very own Joan Hendricks, who just spoke, is in the store wearing low vision simulators, trying to find her grocery list. And then Donnell is pictured experimenting with a closed circuit television. And then we've got one of our interns in the public schools, as well as one of our DVSs practicing performing a functional vision evaluation on each other. So we do a lot of experiential learning in the program. And so really, the biggest successes for our program is the fact that since its inception, we have prepared 91 TSVIs and DVSs to serve children with visual impairments and 33 COMSs. And we also have TSVIs and COMSs who are working directly with children with visual impairments in at least 23 public schools, as well as the School for the Blind. And one of the things that I think is the coolest about our program is tied back to NMSBVI's strategic mission in terms of, taking responsibility for all learners with visual impairments in the state, no matter where they attend. And prior to the development of this program, a lot of districts couldn't find a TSVI or COMS, and so they had no choice but to send kids to the School for the Blind. And it's nice that kids now have a choice of placements based on, what their current needs are. And then we've also done some surveys of our alumni and employers, and 96.7% of our alumni report that they rate their training that they received in the program as effective or very effective. And I took a quote from one of the employers that says, "The teachers in my district were well prepared by your program and are all doing an excellent job in their respective positions." And so that's ultimately what we want, because it's all about improving outcomes for our children with visual impairments. And a final note, on a personal level, really the biggest success is seeing all of our former graduates presenting at conferences like this innovation fair, where they are sharing the practices that they are doing to effectively and better serve our children with visual impairments. So it just really touches my heart to get to sit here and listen to all the great things that they are doing.
Innovations Fair 2022, the Visual Impairment Program VIP Experience, an amazing opportunity. For more information, contact Lana Mason, Personnel Prep Program, NMSU email Lana M, LOANAM @nmsu.edu, or Mark Carter, Orientation and Mobility Instructor, Personal Prep Program, NMSBVI email mcarter, MCARTER @nmsbvi.k12.nm.us.